Hello, my Richies, and welcome back to another episode of the Make Life Rich Movement podcast. My name is Sara. I'm your host. And in today's episode, we're doing a little catch up of what the summer was for myself and the Make Life Rich movement, as well as some books that I have on my bedside table for the next few weeks ahead. Summer went by pretty slowly for me this year, which is absolutely a first of one that I could remember in quite some time. It's been a very restorative summer for me personally, and I am just so grateful that this was the summer that I ended up having. If you are a new follower or a new viewer or listener, wherever you're tuning in from, this basically 2025 for me has been like a complete revelation of the person that I was in 2024. And although it has been a slow and steady progress of growth and change, it has absolutely been such a whirlwind of a difference in my life, the way I feel, how I wake up in the morning, how I'm living day to day. And I just think there was a lot of restorative rebuilding happening in both my heart, my head, and just my life. And I do not take for granted that I had the privilege of having this kind of summer, and certainly 2025 so far. And it has been a big mission on my heart to try to share the journey that I've been going through in hopes that those finding themselves in a similar place to where I was in 2024 might feel, inclined to look a bit deeper into themselves and try to decide what's missing for them. And also simultaneously trying to decide what things in their life have become frivolous, and what things in their life do they want to remove or maybe put to the side for a little while they just exist, while they just feel. I began reading the Bible and getting to know God, Jesus, the Holy Spirit, all of it, since I believe the second week of January. And that alone has completely changed my life in ways that I just could never absolutely have predicted or guessed. I was certainly one of those people, as I addressed my rosary necklace I made. You can see the journey we've come here. I used to make fun of Christians that would talk to a white Jesus in the sky, although I don't believe Jesus is white. That was part of me ridiculing, people that were able to just drop society and have such faith in something that they can't see. And I am now one of those people. And it's just so funny to me to be on this side of the spectrum and just really see that for those that didn't grow up in the church or didn't grow up with God being a common topic in the household, there does seem to be a revival of sorts happening right now for certainly younger generations. But I'm 40, and I can't tell you how many people in my age group are coming to God for the first time ever in their life. And societally, there's something to be said for that, right? We're in a space and time where we're finding ourselves looking for more, where fulfillment is not being reached through the capitalistic means we have in front of us. And I think there comes a time in your life, especially when you reach, higher ages, where you're able to let it all go in hopes of finding what it is that you're missing. And certainly for me, as a publicist, as someone that literally procured culture, pushed forward trends, incited popularity around things, people, and places, I find myself so utterly, I feel like I am a foreign object that has been dejected from the body of society and culture. And I'm so thankful for it. And I really do feel like I am free for the first time ever because I'm not being cloaked in the unnecessary driving force of trying to keep up with society and culture and just these very negative ways in which we've all been conditioned to live our lives. God certainly freed me from that, certainly freed me from the paradigm of believing that I would only find true happiness and success and money and fame, that I would only find peace in gobs and gobs and gobs of money in the bank, that I would only find truth from media outlets and what I'm being told, and actually forced to internalize and make my ethos. And in being able to reject, truly reject culture and society and its influence, and certainly the influence that I had on that machine, and, kind of making, not up for that, but just being able to really take a good gander at the things that I promoted, the things that I push forward in society and culture, certainly in Philadelphia, in a large city where that type of imprinting is very possible. I'm in a space right now where I'm seeing so much of what I thought was falling away and simply melting away, like very easily, very quickly. It's leading to a lot of revelations within my own self about how I care to exist in the world and the impact that I choose to have. And if you've been following along over these summer's episodes during our summer break of sorts, a lot of my solo episodes were just me sharing with you the path and the journey that I've been on, the growth that I've seen, taking a digital detox, the absolute life-changing experience that was. And it sounds so silly, but we just don't understand or anticipate how much tech has taken over our life. And it's happened so quickly. As a 40-year-old, someone that was born in 1985, I grew up through this change. And for anyone of a certain age, I tell you what, that digital detox took me immediately back to 1998. And it was so freeing, so fantastic, so rejuvenating, so soul fulfilling. I encourage you and I urge you to do that. I will link that episode in the show notes. You can download this gorgeous little book I'm very proud of that I made that is going to help you with that digital detox. It also has a little bit of a challenge for you in there, complete with tasks for you to do every day to help you on this detox journey. But I'm in a space and a place right now where so much is just changing and shifting, and I'm very comfortable in this place. And it's not typically somewhere that I would be comfortable in the space of constant change, right? I'd forced myself over these last 5 years to certainly try to change 1% a day, which I know you're all aware of if you've been listening. It's something I've been encouraging you to do as well with all the different methods that we have, whether it be for yourself or for your business. But I want to challenge you to take a look over these last few days and weeks of summer before you slam into the productivity and the quick movement of fall. I want you to consider a few things. First, I want you to consider your drive. Where is the impetus for the things that you are doing coming from? Was it something you gave yourself? Was it something society implanted on you? Was it something your parents conditioned you to do or be? Take a look at your originating narrative. Where did that come from? Who gave it to you? If you need help on doing this, I will also tag a few episodes in the show notes that will assist you on kind of this journey of taking an inner look at where your wounds are, what you need to work on, who you are and why you are the way you are, and then some gentle reparenting exercises. I also have some guided meditations you can do, guided visualizations. I will link all of those below. I want to leave you with a final note of encouragement before we jump onto the books that I'm reading this week. And this is going to be a short episode. If you look, on Saturday was our part 2 to trying to live a more humble life in pursuit of our dreams and our goals and true peace and happiness. And today's episode is just really giving you that go ahead to take initiative for yourself, to really decide who it is and what it is that you are doing, who it is that you are, what it is that you're doing, what is your mission, what is your goal. And maybe at the moment you don't quite have a mission or a goal, you just simply want to exist. That itself is a goal. You just want to exist in equanimity. You want to feel balance. You want to feel peace. That's a beautiful goal. And that is a very big goal. So work towards that. But think about what your goal is entering into this fall. And I want you to press pause in moments where you feel things kind of speeding forward out of your control, because they are in your control. We've just been led to believe that it is not, and that we need to keep a pace that we've been given, certainly since COVID, that is absolutely unmanageable, completely damaging to ourselves, our body, our minds, and also just destroys any hope that we have of fulfillment, happiness, peace, joy, finding your purpose and being able to create a life around that. And I just want to let you know that that decision is yours and yours alone to make. And you may feel like your parents or your professors or your job or your boss is dictating how you live your life, but you are a part of that conceding to society and culture and people to allow them to continue to condition you into what they want you to be and what they want you to do. And you can completely reject that and kick it to the curb and say, kick rocks. I'm in charge of my life. Sophie agrees. Hey, come. It's okay. Ma'am, we're recording. I'll remind you. Come sit. Come sit. Mama's not worried about that noise. Come sit. Come. On your bed. Thank you, Mama. Good girl. On your bed. Thank you. On your bed. All right. So let's move on to the books that I'm reading over the next few weeks. And again, as usual, these are people I'm very much hoping to interview because I love these topics. The first, I set myself up here with this 2-weeker. She chunky, okay? This one is called How Can I Help? Saving Nature with Your Yard. And it is written by Douglas Tallamy. He has a really beautiful organization that he kind of stems a lot of this education that he gives out from. And I'm really hoping that I can feature him and his organization. But this is just really giving you some concrete, simple ways that you are able to change your yard while helping nature, also doing all of the maintenance things you want to do without inhibiting or hurting nature. And overall, just a really beautiful explanation of the local ecology that you likely have in your yard, depending on where you're living in the US. It says that there are 499 questions and answers to help you take the next steps to save nature within your yard. Beautiful. I love this. I'm really hoping I can get Douglas or someone from the organization to come on the show. So stay tuned for that. This is a new release. So if you are looking to read this, your library may have gotten it in, but it is a 2025 release. So brand new book. Check it out. Okay, book number 2. Oops. Is by Sergio Luzzatto, and it is called Padre Pio, Miracles and Politics in a Secular Age. On my journey that I find myself, I'm pretty fascinated with saints. I'm leaning towards a lot of Catholic doctrines and teachings at the moment. I just really enjoy the library of information that they have available within their particular denomination. And Padre Pio was really interesting to me, and I love the semi-modern times within which he had to not only establish himself within his practice, but the way in which that he kind of influenced Italian history between the secular age and the religious age. And overall, I'm just really fascinated with Padre Pio. I don't know too much about him. I sadly became aware of him through... Not sadly. God bless Shia LaBeouf, right? But Shia LaBeouf played him and did quite a beautiful job. And here's a little picture of Padre. So just really excited to see this. Read this, see what the miracles were, give it a go. So if you find yourself inclined to be enjoyed in bibliographies of saints, then here you are. The next book on our list is Protect Your Peace by Trent Shelton. I started following Trent online after his mother had passed away. His mother had passed away very close in time to my father passing away, and he was such a breath of fresh air. He was the only other person I could find on the internet crying openly while grieving and just sharing what the grieving process looks like with others, and made me feel a little less alone in sharing my grieving online. But Trent has come together and put this beautiful book on the 9 unapologetic principles for thriving in a chaotic world and the ways in which you can protect your peace. I think we're really entering into a time right now where, whether you're finding yourself on the secular side of things or the non-secular side of things, everyone collectively wants more peace. We want more love. We want more companionship. We want more collectivity throughout the globe, right? We want everyone to be great and doing great and getting along and minding their business. And I think that this book is going to be really beautiful in helping you to find ways to fortify and protect your peace. I will link a couple of shows in the show notes that are exactly about this topic, about bringing yourself to a place of equanimity within yourself, even when outside forces are doing everything they can to kind of keep you from being in your place of peace, whether that be your family, your boss, your life, your intrusive thoughts, whatever it may be. So if you're not aware of who Trent Shelton is, I would definitely give his Instagram a look. He is a fantastic orator and just shares so deeply from the heart. Truly a friend of God, and I think you will really, really enjoy his content and this book. The next book on our list is Visual Intelligence, Sharpening Your Perception to Change Your Life. This is by Amy Herman. She is an art historian, and she has taught everyone from the FBI to the State Department to teachers to everyone in between on how to visually see more of what is directly in front of you. This book fascinated me. I love the thought of just enhancing the value around careful observation. I think so many of us were taught and frankly conditioned with the society that we live in today to just breeze by and overlook a lot of things. And the devil is in the details, my friends. We truly are in a space and an era where we must not only decipher everything we can in front of us, but utilize our discernment to interpret all of the things that we're taking in visually. And I think this book will be very helpful on that journey for you. If you find yourself in a space where you want to be able to have a bit more discernment between things that you see and hear, and taking in and deciding whether or not for you they are something you'd like to take on as fact or belief, I think Amy Herman and Visual Intelligence will be very helpful for you. The next book that we have is by Dr. Lindsay Gibson. You may be aware of her from her book, Emotionally Immature Parents. I also have that book over on the shelf to give me a little breeze through, but this is her second book, I believe, maybe her third. Disentangling from emotionally immature people, avoid emotional traps, stand up for yourself, and transform your relationships as an adult. Now, I found this book to be very intriguing. I picked it up because I read her other book and loved it very much. I think my generation of individuals were kind of the first to grow up with what we can call an epidemic level of emotionally immature caregivers and parents being in control of our upbringing. And whether or not they were aware of their lack of emotional intelligence and the way in which they thwarted their children with their negative behavior. There's something to be said about taking a look at your memories and how you were raised in your family structure and seeing where emotionally immature people may have stunted you. They may have made you feel smaller. They may have just changed the course of who you are and how you live your life. And along my journeys of doing inner child healing and emotional shadow work, it's been very revealing to see how much emotionally immature adults can really imprint and affect not only our lives, but our true personhood away from who we are authentically. So if you find yourself in a space where you're looking to kind of place some healthy boundaries between you and those around you that are not emotionally mature enough to interact with you in a healthy manner, this book is going to be very helpful. I'm very eager and hoping to get Dr. Lindsay on the show. So stay tuned. Hopefully we can get her on the show to discuss all of her books. But If you are looking for a place to start, this is more of a workbook if you're ready to start reading a book first. Again, her first book is Adult Children of Emotionally Immature Parents. It's certainly going to help you in the sandwich generation as well if you find yourself raising children and also simultaneously having to raise your parents because they are emotionally immature and they have always looked to you as the parental figure. You gotta get your hands on Dr. Lindsay's work and quickly. Godspeed. I'm on that journey and we got this, my friends. The final book that I want to call to your attention is not quite a book, but a workbook. If you're new here, I am on a Bible study journey, and this is just another one of the many books that I'm using to help me in that endeavor. This is by the Daily Grace Co. It is called Worship from Eden to Eternity. And the beauty of this workbook for me is that it is helping me to not only harness in how I would like to live my life for God, but what worship can look like for me, and worship in terms of gratitude and how I show gratitude to the Lord for every day that I'm getting. So if you find yourself on that journey or you are looking to connect a little more spiritually between yourself and God, this could be a really beautiful workbook for you to do that. And let's just take a look at the inside, because I have a few brands that I really love for the Bible study books, but the Daily Grace Co. they get it. They just get it. It's just visually beautiful. There is a lot of room for writing, and it just makes you feel very much like you're getting somewhere. So thank you for that, Daily Grace Co. So I will link this in the show notes if you would like to grab a copy. I'm not affiliated with them in any way. But I just want you to be able to take a look at what they've got. They've got so many workbooks. Just like, if you're on that journey, check them out. That's all I got today, peeps. That's all I got for you, my Richies. I thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you are ready for a fall full of interviews. We're going to be getting back to our normal schedule in September with 2 interviews with guests during the week on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And on Sundays, we will have our solo episodes with moi. And I'm very excited to get some interviews back in your lap. I had every intention of trying to continue the interviews through the summer, but I have to be real with myself. People are not thinking about that. They are thinking about rest and fun and joy. So now that we are entering back into the fallscape where people are feeling a little bit more productive, fall, we're preparing for winter, we're feeling industrious. There's some really beautiful conversations I've got on deck for you to come out in the first weeks of September, and so many amazing guests lined up for the remainder of the year that I am overjoyed to bring to you. The show is growing exponentially over time. We've already hit 300 episodes over the summer, and I just look so forward to everything that God has in store for the Make Life Rich movement. I really hope that you've been enjoying this transition and this evolution of the show. And I just thank you so much for your grace that you're giving me and allowing me to kind of let this show grow along with me. It's absolutely... I don't take for granted this opportunity to have your attention. I don't take for granted the fact that I've built this audience and the show. It means a lot to me to bring you good content that's helping you with your actual life. I try never to be shock jockey. I try never to be extreme. I just want to help share what I'm picking up, and I hope you're picking up what I'm putting down. But it means the world to me to have your time and attention, my Richies. If you know anyone that would benefit from learning about this show, please do share it. If you haven't already, it would mean the world to me if you could rate and review the show, maybe leave a comment, whether it be on Spotify or YouTube. And if there's anyone that you would care to hear on the show as a guest, or there are any books or anything that you think I should be reading and sharing with the audience, please feel free to write in. You can use the link in the show notes to email me directly. You can feel free to DM me on Instagram. You can comment right into the Spotify episode comment section or in YouTube. I check everything every day. It means so much to me to get your comments. I truly cry a tear every time someone comments. It is just so crazy that I can reach over 43 countries around the world. It's just more than I could ever dream of. And we're just getting started. And I'm just so thankful for your time and attention, and hope you have a fantastic week. And I look forward to seeing you on Thursday. As always, my Richies, have a fantastic day ahead and make life rich. God bless.